Good morning. Still, as you can tell, this is just a continuation from my other video. Even if you're seeing this like way in the future, my bad. So, as always, my name is Kelly J, and you are watching the J Chronicles. So this is going to be the Writer's Rant, part 2, technically number 2, edition 2, but it's kind of going off of what I was talking about before, being relationships. This is going to more so hone in on communication. Remember I told you we'd get into that in another video? It's right now. Anyway, so as far as communication, I want you to know there's nothing in this video or any book or anything that you're going to look at that's going to tell you the perfect key way for communication. How do I know that? Because I've spent the past 4 or 5 years of my life, you know what, we're going to just chop it up and count high school, because I spent 3 years in speech and debate studying communication. And communication is my college major. I have a degree in communication. I am working on my bachelor's. But it all comes down to the same thing. Throughout my academic study of it, my discourse, I found the same thing comes up over and over and over again in communication. The true key to communication, ready? Is respect. What? I know. Mind blown. Can't believe it. No, it is. It's respect. And that is communication, again, as humans, because relationships are formed by human interaction. So let's start at the most basic form of interaction, which is just day-to-day lives, acquaintances, if you will. These are people that aren't close to you, that, you know, more so people that you just see high and by here and there. So a lot of you will get these confused with friends. Friends care about your well-being to a certain motive or extent. Whereas acquaintances, they just see you one day and they're gone the next. It's like, you know, when you're in high school or any school and you have that friend in math class that y'all talk all math, and then when you leave that period, you don't talk anymore, and then you see them out in the, real world, you'll see them at the store and just hide. Yeah, that's because those aren't friends, those are acquaintances. Don't get them confused. And stop telling everyone, I have a friend who. No, you don't. You know someone who. Get it correct. Say what you mean. Anyways, for general acquaintances, when you're making new friends or acquaintances or business partners or anything, when you're meeting new people, you have to show respect, right? Think about that. Everyone's told you forever, I'm sure, that the first impression is the most important. Now, this is, of course, because this is the very first thing that someone's going to think about you. There's no going back on this. You can't really erase, replay. There's nothing to go based off other than this. So it's really important. So you want to make sure that you're at the utmost, respectful and pleasant as you can be, so you make a good impression. It's almost as if every time you meet a new person, it's like a new job interview where you're trying to present the best form of you, because you want to be hired for the relationship. You want someone to, we want people to form, human intimacy with. So when you're doing this, you come across a bunch of different things. If you're meeting someone outside of your race, or let's say your country, or anything where it might be a barrier where you're scared or not sure, nervous how to approach the situation. Let's say you're meeting someone who is transgender for the first time and you don't know how to properly address them, or you're meeting someone who doesn't speak your language, or that you would assume because they for whatever reason that there's a communication barrier. So when you're doing this, of course, you come with the most kind of respect. The first and foremost thing you want to do is talk to someone. Like, start moving your mouth. In the scenario with someone who is transgender, you can simply ask that person. Now, as far as political correctness, you're told, whatever gender that they're assuming is the gender that they usually are preferred to be called. But everybody is different. They're not going to be upset if you politely and respectfully ask them, what would you prefer I call you? Because that is something they're probably, used to getting. And it's almost like, oh my gosh, someone's going to take the time to tell me or ask me this. So one prime example is, for me, for instance, I don't prefer the term African American. I'm not African at all. Never been to Africa. I don't have any cultural representation or background. I understand where the reference comes from, but I don't identify with it. I am also, biracial, so especially because of my multiple cultures and heritages, it just doesn't seem politically correct to me to identify as African American. And so I prefer someone to call me black. Now, someone out there is probably like, that's so racist. You can't, they're African American. You can't just call them blacks. Like, no, you used to call me black. So it depends on each person. because you wouldn't want to just call everybody that and get it completely wrong, and then everyone be super upset at you, and then you look insensitive. So maybe just asking and talking to people. It's all about respect, and respect, like almost everything, is reciprocated. So if I respect you, you respect me, right? And this happens at any level and form. Think about when you're trying to date. If someone comes up to you real rude and just gives you like a one-liner that's like really demeaning, you're not gonna talk to that person. And if you are, you probably need to seek help. But other than that, normally people aren't gonna talk to someone like that. So if you don't want anyone to talk to you like that, that means you can't communicate like that either. It sounds really like it should be more high tech, and sure, there's a bunch of other things you could follow and do that would be considered correct or proper communication. But at the end of the day, what you really should be focused on and doing is respecting and being respectful. I think that is the biggest key to any form of communication. Well, I think that is all I have to say as, you know, a giant whole. I could always go in more in detail, especially as far as respect and communication in a relationship, romantically or otherwise. So if you want to see more of this, just comment below, let me know. And thank you again for tuning in.